Hi, I'm Celine Perkins from Perkins Dry Goods. Welcome to part 7 of the Barn Stars Sew Along. Today we're going to be working on the Dancing Stars block. There are 2 of them, and they're made from a friendship star and sawtooth star. One of the units has 2 friendship stars and 1 sawtooth, and the other has the reverse, 2 sawtooth and a friendship. So let's get started. The Sawtooth Star block is made up of 4 flying geese units in a solid center block. So to make these flying geese units, you start with your rectangle and of background and a square of the darker accent fabric. Draw a line corner to corner, stitch just on this side of the line. When you're done with that, fold it back to make sure everything lines up. Then you'll trim 1/4 inch, press towards the corner. Next step is take another square with a line drawn corner to corner, stitch just on the outside of that line. Check to make sure that your raw edges will line up. Then you'll trim that to 1/4 inch and press, and you have the flying goose unit. And to assemble these, you will, for 2 of the rows, you're going to stitch a solid square on either side. So you'll make 2 of those. The center row, you use the lighter of the accent gold fabrics, and you stitch your flying geese to either side. Take care to not cut off the points. The point of this goose here. I like to stitch so I can see the intersection of these lines, so I know that I'm not cutting that point off. Then an extra step on this unit that helps create the dancing part of the block is to stitch this spacer unit to the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter, just one side, and you'll press toward that unit. When you're stitching these together, you will press out for these short top and bottom blocks. You'll press in for the middle block and then press this toward the center. This will make putting the 3 units together a little bit easier because you'll have seams that are opposing where they meet. Next up is the friendship star. The friendship star is a pretty simple block. You have 4 half-square triangle units that rotate around a center square. To create the half-square triangle units, you're going to take your lighter accent fabric, pair it right sides together with your background, draw a line corner to corner on that background square, stitch on either side, then trim or cut apart in the middle. And then these are a little bit oversized, so you'll need to trim them down, and I like to use the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer tool. You align the horizontal line for the size you're trimming to along your stitching line. Then you trim. And then there's these little slots that you can go in and trim the dog ears off. So when you are finished, you have no dog ears and a perfectly sized square. Now you're going to be pressing these to the accent fabric. So when you take them to the ironing board, place it with the accent fabric up, set your seam with the iron. When I press these types of units, I like to, while it's still warm after I set the seam, fold it back, give it a little finger press, and then put the iron on it. It's real easy to distort these if you hit it with the edge of the iron and make them curved and not the right shape. You'll need to make 3 friendship star blocks. You'll also be adding the spacer unit to one side. pressing toward the spacer unit. As you press or stitch the half square triangle units, you'll put 2 squares next to half square triangle. Middle row is 2 half square triangle units on either side of the dark accent fabric, and the bottom row is the same as this top row. So you'll press out for these top rows towards the square and in on the middle row. Take care when you're positioning these to make sure that they are rotating in the same direction. It's a really easy thing to get switched around. So you'll need to make 3 squares, friendship stars. You'll also make 3 of the sawtooth stars. To assemble Unit A, you want to make sure that the spacer strips are at the top for the sawtooth stars and at the bottom for the friendship star. Then you'll stitch these together and you will press toward the center, toward the middle there. To make Unit B, you will use 2 friendship stars and 1 sawtooth, and you'll want the friendship stars at the top, sawtooth at the bottom. As long as you have these spacer squares opposite and your stars are dancing, you've got it right. You'll need 1 each of Unit A and Unit B. That's it for part 7, Dancing Stars block for the Barn Star Sew Along. Thanks for watching.